Okay, here's the tent. Again, this is the Browning Bighorn tent. You can see that the base size is 10 feet by 15 feet, center height 7 feet 3 inches, and a total tent area of 150 square feet. The thing we liked about this particular tent was that its walls are virtually straight up and down. As you can see, it offers you a lot of room within the tent, as opposed to a tent that has more so sloping walls. Another thing that people don't realize, and I certainly didn't realize when I bought this tent, is that it's manufactured by Alps Mountaineering. Now, if you know anything about camping equipment, you'll know that Alps Mountaineering makes really good products. So hopefully that's a good thing. Here, I'll show you right here in the corner. Get it to focus on the part at the bottom there about the Alps Mountaineering. So it says distributed by, but it did come in a box that said it was manufactured by Alps Mountaineering. I've opened the bag. You can see that it's pretty much your standard, millimeter thickness tent material. So it's got a little bit of a rubberized backing in the back of the bag. The zipper looks, pretty typical for a camping bag zipper. I do like the fact that inside they actually have sewn in instructions into the bag that are waterproof. So that's a big plus. Okay, so I've unrolled the tent, and of course here's the tent itself. You can also see here is the rain fly. And it comes with two bags. So you've got a big bag. Again, it's a pretty durable size cloth here for your tent poles. And you also have a nice smaller bag here for your tent stakes. Now the tent stakes themselves, let me get these out of here. I've read that they're not the best. They're typically the ones that come with the tent. These standard steel shank stakes. So what you'll probably want to do if you're going to camp with this tent in any winds or conditions, right? When does it not get windy? You might want to invest in some more heavy-duty tent stakes. I actually have several of these. These are a Coleman product, and you can see it's a lot more substantial and has a nice head on the top there that you can use to bang in with a rubber mallet. So, and a little hook there makes it very easy to pull these up when you're done camping. All right, let's set it up. Okay, so I've completed step one of the setup process. I've unpacked all the poles, and you can see I've got two really long black fiberglass poles. Those are going to go from corner to the corner. I have one gray fiberglass pole. That's going to go across the center of the top. And then I've got 6 shorter black steel poles, which are the structural supports. I did notice on the black steel poles, instead of the typical braided nylon shock cord that's inside, it's actually a steel cable. It's still shock corded, but that's nice to give you some additional strength in the poles. And then of course the fiberglass poles have a nice nylon shock cord, thick cord on the inside. All right, step 2. Okay, so as you can see, the tent is up. I skipped past the second step and all the way to completion just to show you what it looked like. But here are some things that I observed as I was going through the steps. First, the step number 2 says to insert the poles across the top, which I did. And you insert them into those black plastic elbow connectors at the top, which is right in the center of your screen. What they don't say is that the poles go in one way because they're thicker on one side than the other. The upright steel shaft black poles go into the larger opening, and the smaller black fiberglass ones on the top go into the smaller opening. Sounds pretty simple, but if you don't know to expect that, you don't know to plan for it, and so it's not a big deal. I just had to switch around about 4 of those, and I did notice as I was doing that on one side of the connector there's a little dot, which probably is there to tell you that, hey, that's the side for the roof versus the side for the bottom. So let me show you a little bit more, and then we'll put the rain fly on. Another feature that I like about this tent are the oversized zippers. You can see that the width of this is pretty thick. The only thing I really don't like about it are these little string pulls here. They're not secured on the end, they're just tied, so those can and will come loose and come off. I'll enjoy them while I can, but I think I would have preferred something a little bit thicker there on this. But all the zippers slide very easily. I haven't had any problems getting them to open. And one thing I didn't know was that there's actually a power port here. So if that's important to you, this tent does have it. Okay, so we're inside the tent now, and you can see that it has quite a bit of room, 150 square feet, nice tall ceilings in the center, so you tall guys won't hit your head. It does have a room divider, which is nice, and the floor is nice and thick too, a little thicker than the sides, which is great for durability. Now, most families will buy this tent because you can stack up a lot of kids in it. As you can see, I actually have 3 spare kids right here, and they fit nice and neatly into the corner. So you could probably fit, I don't know, at least 50, 60 kids in here if you didn't want to have room for anything else. Next feature, we've got some sewn in pockets here with nice mesh on the outside. There's 3 of those here. On the opposite side here, there's 3 on the back side as well. Again, there's a total of 6 windows or zippered windows. 2 of them are doors, as we can see here. And again, I think so far, so good. The reinforced grommets I told you about, so far looking at the seams, it seems like it's pretty well sealed up. Of course, I am going to camp dry it and also put seam seal on it just to protect it. Okay, we'll do one last shot with the rain fly on, and hopefully that gives you a good idea of what this tent's all about. Okay, so here she is up with the rain fly. I've got a couple of the corners guyed out and attached to the fence. So all in all, not too bad. Let me show you a few more things that I like and not so crazy about. Okay, so here's a light. A lot of these tents have guys that come out from the fly, and it's a little hook, and you hook it over. You have to tie it. This is a really nice little mechanism here. Let me see, flip it over so you can see it, which actually catches. See those teeth on the inside of there? Actually catch onto the rope. So it's a nice substantial rope. So when you just loop it around something, you can pull it back on itself, and it tightens. So pretty nice and pretty simple. Okay, so here's a dislike. So the rain fly attaches at 6 points to the ground with clips. That's really nice. The clips are just average quality, and there are Velcro loops on the back, as you can see here. Let me find one. Here's a steadier shot of that, so you can see the Velcro attached there to the rain fly, just below the clip, which is nice. But then when you get up to the corner, which is the most important place to keep the rain fly on the tent, they have these. You can see here, I've just put a very simple little knot in there just to hold it in place. But this can move around, and it can move off the seam since it doesn't stay in place. I think what I'd rather have seen would be some elastic, stretchy ones with some hooks in them that could hook right here into this eye on the frame. Okay, one last other thing that I like. The rain fly sometimes can be difficult to put on some tents to get it situated correctly. But you can see this one actually has a point on the rain fly part that goes over the window. So line up a point to a window, clip it into both sides, you're good to go. Here's the inside of the tent with the rain fly on, and actually it's nice because the screen top, see that, remains separated from the rain fly, so that even though it's hot, 90 degrees I said today, it still actually remains fairly cool inside the tent, which is nice. There's definitely a nice breeze flowing through it. Ring at the top to hold your lantern, and the typical bathtub bottom with the divider. You can see, again, we've got plenty of room in here to stretch out. So I picked a good day to put it up. It's really sunny and warm outside, but it's also fairly windy. Getting some decent gusts through here, and the tent's really not making much of a fuss about it. See a little bit of rippling on the top there, but I only have 2 guys out. I don't even have the middle stake, and she's rock solid. So imagine if you had everything guyed out and staked down, you'd be able to get through a pretty heavy windstorm without any problem at all.